Last night was a cause for celebration. 100 subscribers to this, a storytelling channel. Thank you ever so much for everyone who listens and watches and enjoys these old tales. So, as a special surprise, I thought I'd do a bonus story. Now is the witching time of year. Now is the time of ghosts, of spirits, of a Tylwyth Teg. Now is time for the time between times. So, as a reward to you, here is a bonus tale. So sit back, forget all that happened today, and lose yourself in the story. Now is the time between times. The time it is neither night nor day, but the sun has gone and the sky is grey. Tonight, I'm going to tell you of a Morwyn Goch, the Red Maiden, who they say haunts the Swansea Valley. The Swansea Valley is a glorious place. Cliffs rise on each side like hooked claws. They say the sun only shines there for an hour a day, and then at the height of midsummer. But it's a place of grotesque beauty, a place loved by all who tread its weary, winding paths, a place that I hold special to me. But on dark nights, when there is no moon in the sky, when the sun has long gone, when the clouds hang over like a shroud, the Morwyn Goch has been seen. There are some famous encounters of the Morwyn Goch, and no one knows why she is there or what her purpose is. But she is a red-headed lady, a ragged dress, seen just off the road, almost in the corner of your eye, so that you turn quickly, and suddenly she'd be gone. Many years ago, there was a man called Twm Llwyd who travelled to the Swansea Valley, courting a lady who he knew there. He wandered down the winding path from Brecknockshire until he came to Tafarn y Garreg, a shining beacon at the start of the valley. The tavern, with its old white stone walls that has stood there since time immemorial. But as he came down the winding road towards the tavern, he saw a blacksmith's fire off the road. But the more he walked, the closer the fire seemed to come to him, until eventually it stood right in front of him, and he knew that if he followed the path once more, he would come across the fire and must surely burn. So he stepped over a fence, walked through a field, and suddenly he saw her, standing just a little way away, staring at him, her red hair billowing in the breeze, her ragged dress hanging torn but beautiful, and her face so old and yet so young, that seemed to stare right through his very soul. She pointed off the road towards the cliff face. He just moved on, rushed down to the tavern, knocked the door and went inside. The landlady saw that he had been shaken up, saw that he looked frightened, and said to him, "What has happened?" He told her about the spirit. She told him to drink, eat, rest if need be. But eventually he knew he must face whatever was out there. So at the strike of midnight he opened the tavern door and stepped out onto the road. And sure enough, there she was again, standing on the roadside, far away, but pointing off the road, down towards the river. This time he decided to go where she was pointing, and it led him down towards the stream. The spirit followed close behind as he made his way down. The river ran over the rocks and made a beautiful noise, and the spirit pointed to a stone in a wall next to the river. Tom took the stone, pulled it out, and there in a cloth bag hidden was a bag full of gold coins, more gold than he had ever seen in his life. For a moment his heart seemed to beat quicker, for he thought that he was a rich man, but the spirit nodded her head, shook her head, and pointed at the river. He knew exactly what he needed to do, tip the gold coins into the stream, where they were never seen again. Second sighting was even more strange. Again, a man was walking near the upper Swansea Valley, near to where Dana Rogov now stands, the show caves. And again, a Morwyn Goch was seen just off the road. This time she whispered in his ear and said to him that he must go to Philadelphia. This was strange indeed, for this was many hundreds of years ago, and to go somewhere as far as that was almost impossible. The man was in such a shock at meeting the spirit that he collapsed to the ground. And when he awoke, he was in a strange place indeed. The spirit was there also. The people dressed differently. The people spoke differently. But again the spirit pointed to a wall. The man pulled a brick out from the wall, and behind it was a bag of gold coins once more. The spirit again made him throw it in the river. Then he fell to the ground once more. When he awoke, he was near Tafarn Garreg once more, and had been gone for 3 days, according to his family. Could the spirit have really taken him over 4,000 miles away? To another country, another land, across the world? Again, to throw money and coins into the water? What is this spirit's purpose? The Swansea Valley is a beautiful place. A stunning, gorgeous, beautiful place. Visit it if you can. But know this, even now, over 200 years later, the Morwyn Goch is still sometimes seen just out of sight on the edge of the woods, upon the top of the cliffs, upon the entrance to the caves, looking down at travellers who walk past. We do not know why, but we know that she is there. Thank you, my friends, for listening. Thank you, my friends, for joining me. And thank you, my friends, for supporting this channel. It shows there is a time for stories even in these days. Please take care. I will see you again back at the usual time next week. Diolch yn fawr. Thank you very